It is National News Literacy Week, a week dedicated to promoting the important role journalism plays in society.
News literacy is the ability to determine the credibility of news and to use fact-based journalism to determine what to trust. And to kick off the week, we're showing you how we've been keeping the broadcast going despite the challenges the pandemic has brought on. Well, you may not know this, but there are very few staff members working in the building right now. 7 Action News reporter Saima Chowdhury explains how the station is operating while many newsroom employees are at home.
Hey guys, it's no surprise the pandemic has changed the way we work. You may have noticed some of us working from home. But what you don't see is what we're trying to hide. The mess, the kids, the pets, while maintaining professionalism. And we're using all different types of tools like GoPros and iPhones, all to bring you the story.
Taking action for you.
You know that sound? You've seen these faces. But instead of producers and directors in the control room or newsroom, you'll find several empty chairs.
News is what I call a contact sport.
And that's all changed because of the pandemic. Kenan Oliphant is our assistant news director. He's been in the business for nearly 20 years. But the way we've been working these past 10 months is a first for any veteran. Instead of working inside of the building, many are working from home.
The newsroom used to have just tons of people in here with conversation and scanners going.
Pretty quiet weather for at least a week and maybe longer.
No longer face-to-face, except when we see these faces on Zoom.
Journalists like to be around each other, to riff off of each other, to build on ideas.
DPD has not updated us with information on that crash.
Every newsroom meeting is conducted on Zoom.
It is a noun, it's a verb, and I wish I would have bought stock in Zoom.
Eve Jones is the real-time desk manager. She's in charge of what we call the heart of the newsroom.
All information comes through, whether it's via phone, email, text, what have you, and then we disseminate it and give it out to our crews and to the public.
Story ideas and assignments come in through
Dispatch Shores Engine 3 will respond to
scanners, phone calls, and emails. It then gets sent to producers, reporters, and the web team.
And just talking to each other through our messaging system via the computer.
The need to over-communicate is clear. Instead of shouting information across the newsroom, we have to take several steps to pass it along.
It's amazing that we are able to put on newscasts from the comforts of our own home.
I never thought I would ever be working from home doing this job. I never thought this would ever happen. I'm completely shocked and just in awe of what our IT department has been able to pull off.
Tony Chiudioni is our 5 p.m. producer. He's in charge of putting the stories in order, writing when needed.
Keep the show on the rails once we go to air.
Tony has a desktop, laptop, and TV screen, all taking over the guest bedroom. And his wife works in the room next to him.
I went from working on overnights where I never saw my wife to literally only seeing my wife.
You say it like it's a bad thing, Maloney.
It's not. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's quite the difference, though.
And they both have to balance life with their toddler, Ricky.
It was very challenging and exhausting.
Our IT department can't help us with the work-life balance, but they sprang into action once the shutdown occurred.
It was a bit of a shock in the beginning.
John Cake says getting the technology to work in homes is easier when our staff troubleshoot first.
Oh, you're having a problem, Yeah, I got a problem. But I already restarted my computer, and then I did this and I did this. So they're already doing that. Oh, well, you get the junior IT badge. I'll tell you, there's a lot of junior IT badges.
One of the challenges, getting our meteorologists like Hallie Vogel set up at home.
You see this big giant green screen behind me. I had to push the toys to clutter aside and just kind of park it in my basement, get lighting set up and all the technology I need to actually put the weathercast on the air.
And working out in the field is different for our crews too, especially for our pregnant reporter, Kim Russell.
I have no problem telling someone, look, I don't feel comfortable doing this because I'm pregnant and I don't want to put my baby at risk or risk preterm labor because of COVID.
Many press conferences and court cases have gone virtual, but anything that requires crews to be in person, the reporter and photojournalist now travel separately.
There's a little bit of uncertainty in the back of your mind of how, not having your sidekick with you, how the day is going to go.
And the way the photogs like Danny Stricker point and shoot, well, that's changed too.
Simon, I know that the way we would work, we try to get the shots and get up close and get those interviews and talk to people on the street. And now you almost have to talk from a distance use a little tripod or a boom pole, and it just seems so out of sorts to talk to somebody that way.
And when the pandemic shut down sports, our Brad Galley and Justin Rose focused on highlighting high school athletes in their senior salutes.
We got a ton of feedback from people saying, hey, my son, my daughter got their season canceled, and that's why we did senior salutes in every single sportscast for 9 months. And we really felt a connection with people on a local level and getting into each community and finding out which team was kind of the heartbeat of that community and what people were looking forward to seeing. And that was a real connection that we felt, even though everything was via Zoom and everything was, socially distant.
Taking action for you.
Working however we can safely to take action for you.
Just because the world has changed in how we produce our news does not mean that we still don't want to get the news and get those stories from our viewers.
Make sure that what you're seeing and reading is the most accurate that it can be.
We're a real tight crew here. So when everybody needs help, we're here to help each other out.
So let's keep the conversation going. Head to our social media pages like Facebook to ask us any questions about news literacy. Working from home, I'm Simon Chowdhury for 7 Action News.
Complete behind the scenes of what we do, and we're missing that nonverbal piece. A lot of what happens in the field, you can just feel it and see it, but we're getting it done and we're doing the best we can for you. And
definitely.
I love seeing all the dogs and kids.
Absolutely. Big kudos to all the colleagues here at the Broadcast House, for sure.